Happy New Year, one and all, and welcome. SportsNola.com, Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder, and it's another busy sports weekend. The New Orleans Saints playing their final regular season game against the Carolina Panthers. Lenny, the dilemma is to be or not to be, to play or not to play. You play to win the game, right? I don't know. They may not play to win the game. Depends on what's happening, and it's a very ticklish situation.
It really is, and the reason it's ticklish is because the Saints were in this identical situation a year ago, playing Week 17, needing win and help to ultimately get the number one seed in the division title. And what happens? Jimmy Graham gets hurt, Chris Ivory gets hurt, Malcolm Jenkins gets hurt. It ends up those injuries were key, and you lost in the wild card round at Seattle the following week. All that said, you still have a chance. And as long as you have a chance, I think you owe it to, if you want to call it the integrity of the game or whatever, you owe it to do that, to at least go out there. Now, your scoreboard watching, San Francisco at St. Louis on Sunday at the same time, builds up a big lead, you start pulling guys. I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, you certainly expect the 49ers to take care of the hapless Rams. We all know what happened to the Saints in St. Louis, but the Rams haven't come close to replicating that performance ever since. So, scoreboard watching is essential in this game. And I think if the 49ers get up by 2 touchdowns, maybe that's the magic point, because the Rams can't score, especially against a defense like San Francisco.
Well, the good news is San Francisco has a hard time getting in the red zone. There's a reason David Akers just set an NFL record for points scored, field goals made in a season, because when they get down close, they've really been ineffective, which the 49ers and the Saints end up meeting down the road in the playoffs. We can talk about that more then. But it could be a situation where, this 49ers allow the Rams to hang around a little bit, and the game is in St. Louis, so don't forget that aspect.
Topic for another day, but remember I said this, the San Francisco 49ers of 2012, 2011, what year are we in? Almost 2012, but the season of 2011, they are the 1987 Saints and the Saints under Jim Mora. That's who they are. Remember I told you that. Now, in terms of Carolina, Cam Newton's had a really good year. This kid can really play. They're fun to watch. They're going to be a load in the future to deal with in this division.
They really are, and this is a team that is very dangerous. I mean, they gave the Saints all they wanted in Charlotte a couple of months back, and they're playing an awful lot better now than what they were then. So it really has to be cause for concern. This is not your average 6-9 team coming in here playing out the string.
We usually make picks. I don't think you can make a pick in this game. How do you make a pick not knowing the circumstances of the game and who's going to play? I mean, it may be like a preseason game, or it may be like a very important game if the Rams are competitive. So I'm not making a pick. How can you?
I agree. A couple of things to keep in mind here. The Saints need 219 yards to break the record of the greatest show on turf Rams for the most prolific offense in the history of the game with over 7,000 yards. Some other records at stake: the most first downs in a season, the most passing yards in a season, so many other things. When it's all said and done, we may look back at this Saints team as the most prolific offensive team in the history of the National Football League. That you can say for sure.
Tom Benson was on hand for the New Orleans Hornets home opener as they destroyed the aging Boston Celtics, and it was a full house, and it was a fun time, and it was a good performance by a team that seems to be a little bit ahead of schedule. You don't want to get too excited, but when you look at the way they're playing early on, you have to be encouraged.
Well, you look at it this way. They are 2-0. They won the first game without their point guard, Jarrett Jack, who was serving a 1-game suspension. Eric Gordon is hurt, did not play last night. It sounds like he will not play Friday night at the Hive against Phoenix. You hope maybe he is back for a 2-game West Coast swing Sunday and Monday to Sacramento and Utah. But they're not 100% right now, and yet they've gone out and won 2 games and captured a little bit of excitement in this town. Obviously, what this team and this city did in terms of selling over 10,000 season tickets, obviously they've created a little bit of passion for their product. Sellout crowd Wednesday night. Hey, it's still football season right now, but we got some interesting basketball to talk about.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a fun team to watch, a competitive team, and a team that is going to get better as the season goes on. How does that translate? We'll see, because it's early on to make predictions about the Western Conference, which appears to be deep once again. Lenny, as always, a pleasure. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you and yours.
And for Lenny Vangilder, I'm Ken Trahan for SportsNola.com, reminding you to watch SportsNola TV Monday nights, 6 p.m. on WHNO Channel 20. God bless you one and all. Talk to you next time.